Hello, dear students. I, Dr. Seema Maheshwari, welcome you all in today's e-lecture, and the topic is acid rain. Talking about acid rain is not cooking any fictional story. It's a real serious harm to our environment. So, in today's e-lecture, let us learn more about this haunting aspect of nature and explore a vital topic we call acid rain. The term acid rain was coined in 1852 by Scottish chemist Robert Angus Smith, who is known as father of acid rain. Acid rain or acid deposition is any form of precipitation that contains acidic component such as sulfuric acid or nitric acid. Further, acid rain is the precipitation that has a pH of less than that of natural rainwater. Natural rainwater has a pH of about 5.6 due to dissolved oxides. It is formed when sulfur dioxides and nitrogen oxides as gases or fine particles in the atmosphere combine with water vapors and precipitate as sulfuric acid or nitric acid as a form of rain, snow, or fog. When we talk about acid fog, it has 10 times more acid than acid rain, so it is more dangerous to environment. According to the Environmental Protection Agency EPA, acid rain or acid deposition is a broad term that includes any form of precipitation with acidic components such as sulfuric acid or nitric acid that fall to the ground from the atmosphere in wet or dry form. So acid rain, we can call it as of two types, or the deposition may of two types. One is wet deposition and other is dry deposition. When we talk about wet deposition, the type of acid rain that contains water is called wet deposition. Plants as well as animals are also affected as the wet deposition falls to the ground, and dry deposition refers to the acidic gases and particles, the chemical pollutant or gases like SO2 or NOx, nitrogen oxides, may become incorporated with dust or smoke and fall down to the ground through dry deposition, but they can combine with the moisture on the surface of the building, roads, trees. This is how the acid rain is wet deposition, and this is how dry deposition is being done. Now, to understand acid rain, this is a pathway. Acid rain is a result of air pollution. When any type of fuel is burnt, lots of different chemicals are produced. The smoke that comes from a fire or the fumes that comes out of a car exhaust don't just contain the sooty gray particles that you can see. They also contains lots of invisible gases that can be even more harmful to our environment. Power stations, factories, and cars all burn fuels and therefore all produced polluting gases. Some of these gases, nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide, react with the tiny droplets of water in clouds to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid. The rain from these clouds precipitates as rainfall as form of acid rain. We consider two main sources for acid rain. One is natural sources and other is human sources. So natural sources includes emissions from volcanoes and from biological processes that occurs on the land in wetlands and in the oceans contribute acid producing gases to the atmospheric effects of acids deposits have been detected in glacial ice thousands of years old in a remote part of the globe. Whereas when we talk about human sources, we all know the principal cause of acid rain is from human sources, industrial factories, fossil fuel power plants, oil refineries, power generating plants, electrical power generators, and vehicles. Sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen are released during the fuel burning process that we call combustion. Burning of fossil fuel emits sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide reaches the atmosphere. It oxidizes to form sulfur dioxide. That is, sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide, as this reaction says, and then further sulfur dioxide joins with water and becomes sulfuric acid, and then this falls back down to the earth as acid rain. Similarly, vehicles emit nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere due to combustion, which, on reacting with water, it forms sulfuric acid. Now we need to understand impact of acid rains. This is harmful to the aquatic life. It increases in acidity in the water bodies, stops acts of the certain organisms like fish, changing in the population ratio of the aquatic life, also affects the ecosystem badly. This is again harmful for the vegetation also. Increased acidity of the soil, leaches nutrient of the soil, slowing the plant growth, leaches toxins of the soil, poisoning plants, create the brown spots in the leaves of trees, impeding photosynthesis allows organisms to infect through the leaves, accelerate the weathering in the metals and stone. Example, Taj Mahal. You see Taj Mahal, what was the earlier color and now it is yellowish. This is only because of the acid rain. Exhaust gases from Mathura refinery greatly affect the Taj Mahal at Agra, which this is evident from its color change. It can additionally deteriorate limestone and marble building and monuments like gravestones. Acid rain can affect trees in several different ways. It may dissolve and wash away the nutrients and minerals in the soil which help the trees to grow, cause the release of harmful substances such as aluminium in the soil, wear away the waxy protective coating of leaves, damaging them and preventing them from being able to photosynthesize. A combination of these effects weaken the trees, which means that they can be more easily attacked by diseases and insect or injured by bad weather. Acid rain can also change the composition of bodies of water, making them uninhabitable for local animals and plants. For example, healthy lakes have a pH of 6.5 or higher. And acid rain raises the level of acidity. Fish tend to die off. Most fish species can't survive a water pH of below 5. When the pH becomes 4, the lake is considered completely dead according to National Atmospheric Deposition Program. Acid rain can be carried great distances in the atmosphere, not just between countries, but also from continent to continent. The acid rain sometimes fall many miles away from the source of pollution, but whereas it falls, it can have a serious effect on soil, trees, building, and water. So we can say gases produced in India can result acid rain in China or anywhere else in the world, or vice versa. As the acidity of a lake increases, the water becomes clearer and the numbers of fishes and other water animals decline. Some species of plants and animals are better able to survive in acidic water than others. Freshwater shrimps, snails, mussels are the most quickly affected by acidification, followed by fish such as minnows, salmon, and roach. The roe and fry of the fishes are the worst affected. The acidity of the water can cause deformity in young fish and prevent egg from hatching properly. Further, the acidity of the water does not just affect species directly, it also causes toxic substances like aluminium to be released in the water from the soil, harming fish and other aquatic animals. It affects the ecosystem badly. So, if you think if one species is gone, the whole ecosystem is disturbed. On buildings, every type of material will become eroded sooner or later by the effects of the climate. Water, wind, ice, and snow all help in the erosion processes, but unfortunately, acid rain can help to make this natural process even quicker. Statues, building, vehicles, pipes, and cables can all suffer from the acid rain. The worst affected are things made from limestone or sandstone, as these type of rock are particularly susceptible and can be affected by acid rain. Now comes the most crucial question, and that is what we can make efforts required towards mitigation. So, in this continuing this efforts, we can understand we should use renewable energy like wind power, solar energy, tidal power, and geothermal energy. Fit catalytic converters to vehicle exhaust, which remove the nitrogen oxide, limit the number of vehicles on the road, and increase public transport. Use cleaner fuels, even better, say, fuels which have less sulfur content. Flue gas desulfurization is one of the process towards mitigation, which says removal of oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen before releasing flue gas in the atmosphere. We as individual can also prevent acid rain by conserving energy by all means. The less electricity people use in their homes, the smaller number of chemical power plants will emit and less chances of acid rains. Vehicle emission control reduces emissions of nitrogen oxides from the motor vehicles. Sulfur can also be washed out of smoke by spraying a mixture of water and powdered limestone into the smoke stack. Lakes and rivers can have powdered limestone added to them to neutralize the water, and this process is called liming. Now, as an individual, we should seriously think what we can do. Greater subsidies of public transport by the government should be implemented so that people are encouraged to use public transport rather than always traveling by car. Every individual can make an effort to save energy by switching off light when they are not being used. And as responsible citizen, responsible human being, I am sure that you will keep this in mind. Further, using energy saving appliances when less electricity is being used, pollution from power plant decreases definitely. We all should use walking, cycling, and sharing cars, which we say carpooling. They all reduce the pollution from vehicles. Now, all the things are in our hand, definitely, and we should preserve the environment. Thank you.